my friends. I'm here to show you today finally one more journal in the line of mossy journals, where I tried to show to imitate moss and leaching in different ways and methods. So this one is made with authentic real birch tree bark. Peel, it's I know I didn't kill any birch, it's just we use firewood here in Belarus a lot to warm our houses, and this is just a peel. I peeled it off from firewood that we had in our dacha or country house, and I have some more pieces of it, so probably I will either include them into some of the packages, junk journal kits for sale, or just use them in some further journals. So this is the cover, and the moss imitation is mostly made with the texture. Actually, it's a texture paste, but it's called paint. Once again, it's Cadence Moss Effect paint. These are the two bottles. I showed them in my previous tutorials. If you're interested in how they work, you can show them there. You can see them there. And it's very tough and rough, and it's just like texture. It feels like texture paste. Nothing soft and velvet like moss. It's like moss or leaching, but which is dry and harsh. And pieces of cheesecloth colored with different distress not stains, but distress ink. Okay, let me enter a little bit of water, some lace and burlap as the background surface. All in all, it's quite rough, and here it is. This is the spine, and this is the back side. There are some patches of glitter glue with greenish effect. I decided to give it some sparkle this time, as if just to imitate the drops of dew on it, and so on. So pieces of lace are just from my dear Libby. Almost all the lace here is from her. Usual closure with two pieces of this is hand sewn, but some kind of hand sewn ribbon piece of it. This one is just a piece of cotton, and this is the first page. As you can see, also the pocket here is made with the lace that came from Libby, and I found it looks absolutely perfect here, as if it was born to be here. These are the two tags. One of the tags from my favorite style collection that I keep making all the time. And this is the name card, the name for the book, and for the bookmaker. It's in this case it's not a bookmaker, but it's me. So I called it Birch Grove, and I wrote the date, so you can use it as a name card. And I decided to add this kind of name cards property of. So this is when I stamped. You just can write your name and fix it wherever. Here, there, many places can be nice. So it goes here. So it has two signatures, and it's in my favorite rustic style, combination of rustic style and eco material. The tutorial for this page has been published. You can find it in my channel. I added some details after I published the tutorials, and you can also see some moss here, and this is a seed shaker made of a tea bag, plastic. Actually, this is kind of a mesh tea bag a lot of different seeds and some, yes, a lot of seeds as far as I remember. And these are the pieces of old cardboard. Actually, it's more than 40 probably years old. I found it at my dacha. It's in packaging. And this is a piece of everything is Birch themed in this journal. And this is a piece of a picture that I took from an old book of 82, probably 1982. It's an old Soviet book for children, like almanac or something. One of the pages was about nature and birch trees, so it fits here perfectly well. Okay, some cotton, this assortment of brown paper and so on. And actually, this is pocket. Here is a pocket because it's a paper bag and some distressed pages, cards. This is actually a watercolor paper card. You can color it with watercolor even when it is coffee stained. It still gives nice effect when you use your watercolor, or just leave it as this. And I inserted a piece of cardboard cover from, or package from different medicinal plants I keep using for my family. This is the calendar page. It says 6th of July. It's nice because actually probably when they open the borders, I mean not the borders, but when the postal service resumes delivery, that will be the day. Let's see, will it be the prediction or not a prophecy? And this is just a piece of distressed paper and some fussy cut birch twig. And you can see, and yes, I used very rough, tough closures and fixes. I used a lot of staples, mere staples, and like rough, like this one, stitches to create this rustic style of something that is handmade and very simplistic. This page is actually the cover from the Young Naturalist magazine. As you know, I have a collection of them from late 90s of the previous century, and also here is a kind of a birch grove, maybe you can see. This one is very, by the way, typical landscape for Belarus as well. I have almost the same landscape in my granny's village. So this one is quite old, and you even can see the enrollment, not the subscription dates or something. A lot of coffee stained pages for writing. You can write poetry, you can write your notes, actually diary or anything like that. And one more tag, collaged tag. I started to add my signature here. IZ, Iraza is my pseudonym, and or my Facebook name. Now this is a page from the catalog or leaflet that we got when we had a trip to Belaverskaya Pusha. This is a natural resort, a natural reservation or something where we that we have here in Belarus, where we have this different species of animals and birds and just wild nature all around. One more of my favorite types of collages with a tiny herbarium tag label, which actually comes from a specific tea bag. We have a collection of herbarium tea in Belarus. I'm not sure whether it's like locally produced or not, and the tea bag is here as well. You can see. As you can see, I like using eco-friendly stuff, and I use a lot of recycled things here. This one is an old. It comes from an old node book. It's a big a big book, A4 size, and the pages have never been colored or distressed. They turned greenish themselves naturally. So finally their time has come and I started using them. And this is one more page, just distressed page with this, marble effect, and all these wrinkles are palpable. You can touch them, you can feel them. And this amazing page is from an old children's book. And you can see it's a birch tree, yes. And let me see how old it is, and let me see the date, probably, if I manage to see the date, because I'm really very good, but it's something like 1983 or 82. I'm not wearing glasses, my glasses now, so I can tell exactly that it's something like that. And it's very old, it's very nice, and I remember the stories from different books that we used to have in the Soviet Union, and they were really, when we were children, everything was almost perfect, friendly, kind, and different from what we have now. And some more pages with different structures and textures. This one, by the way, this is the so-called newspaper paper page, and some more notepads, composition books, stained, distressed, and just coffee stained, and one more, the last page of the signature, again with some staples, moss imitation, just crinkled coffee stained paper, and a tag, a nice card with some very countryside-ish look of bunches of flowers being dried on the fence. And the second part of the bag, like you can have here, this is the pad, cardboard pad from one of the embellishment sets, and just a piece of paper to write on, also distressed. And this is the back side. This one I wanted to look as much like country house as possible. This one looks almost exactly the same, even the colors, it matches the colors of my grandparents' country house. It's still alive. I still go there from time to time. My grandparents have they went, and they have already gone, and but the house is still there, and my relatives, my distant family, still keep coming there and keeping it alive, because it's kind of a family place. And it looks like that. It's closely connected with my childhood, like it's my best reminiscence. And some feather, and a piece of my handmade paper with peony leaves, peony petals. And these peony petals, they really come from the peony that I took from my grandma's flower bed and planted in my own garden. So moss imitation, and these amazing words they are about. This is a poetry. These are the lines of a poem. The poem about the home place, love, mother's hands, and just family and home place. It's so close to this, family nest topic or theme that you can find here. How my just now has become, it's like kind of my trademark. Maybe it's a bottle with seeds, and someone asked me about seeds and natural things and pieces that I sent with my journals, and I use a lot. Since they are like parts of a work of art or just handmade piece, nobody has asked about nobody has any issues with them so far, but if you feel there might be an issue just before buying that, let me know, and I will probably will replace them with something different. I definitely will not be able to replace the petals in handmade paper, but at least something. So, and the second signature is made on just brown cardboard, and I'm in the cover for that, with a little bit of collage. The collage incorporates, as usual, the principle of my collages. They include different textures and different materials. So it's fabric of different types, three types of fabric, or even 4, some handmade paper, some strings, a picture, some die cuts, distressed die cuts, and a piece of wood, slice of a twig, I would say, with moss imitation. Actually, this is kind of a pocket. You can see it here. It's pocket, and you can find some cards with lose yourself in nature and find peace. It's absolutely, yes, it's my aim for the next couple of years, hopefully, if God doesn't have different plans for me. This is just a card with a birdie. Maybe it's a nightingale. I'm not a professional bird watcher, but in fact, or ornithologist, but in fact we have a nightingale at our dacha, and our country house, with birches, and this is a seed shaker, plastic seed shaker, with not only seeds but also with tiny sequins and a dried plant. And some paper clips. I use paper clips everywhere now, just like the effect they create, and they are the easiest closures and fixes that you can get. This is also one more piece, one more tag, 100% handmade, starting from the form, shape, and everything. And these are the flowers, by the way, and twigs, fussy cut from my watercolor stamps, stamped and watercolored and pencil colored images. And I also made a line of tutorials on how to color, how to stamp color using different techniques. These flowers that you further on can use, and even how to use them in clusters. Some page from an old English-Russian dictionary, and it's quite big. This is a page from my personal 2014 record journal from the university, from the years I worked at university, and it still can be used for notes, but it makes in itself great memorabilia. This one says July, so I know, I feel it will be available only in July, not before, because now still almost everything, almost all the countries don't have direct flights with Belarus. That's why our post office closed the delivery to the majority of the countries. I will tell about this a bit later. For example, the USA, Canada, Australia, and many other countries, and as far as I remember, Italy, they are closed now. I mean, they are open probably, but our post office don't deliver. They say they don't have direct flights, and I don't know. So one more collage with forest grove theme, and one more collage with a little paper frame that can be used as a photo frame or tag frame or just a picture frame. This one, yeah, is a page from an old, I still have a couple of pages from an old photo album, of my parents, which is outdated, and I have to restore the photos and pictures and keep them in different place. Some stamped composition here, and one more page from the book that I represented at the beginning. It's almanac from 1982. This one also has a picture of birch trees grove, and composition book with the house, tiny house, one more page from a very outdated old composition, not composition but notebook that it's naturally old and naturally yellow. I didn't use any coffee or tea there. And one more picture from the same almanac, which says 1982. Yes, exactly, also birch tree, and a little metal butterfly here, metallic. And the last page of this photo album, and feather, one more feather, and tiny house, and another collage with mass imitation and handmade paper piece. These ones can also be used as tiny pockets, as you can see it here. Pages to write. One more page from Young Naturalist magazine. And here we are, almost at the end. Just one more amazing card with a picture of a tiny country house with some buildings in the middle of the birch grove, or birches growing around. And one more house, as you can see here, cardboard house, and a tiny I love nature tag, an old rusted, you can see it's naturally rusted paper tape. And in fact, this is the CD, really also very old CD bag with the twigs of the birch tree, and with the peel off of the birch tree from my country house. And actually I am going to post a short tutorial with a little bit of a film about this birch and about the twigs and how I made it. It's going to be a short tutorial online quite soon. It says, "This day gives wonders." It says in Russian. The words are written in Russian here, and it's nice. And the last page with a little, seed shaker. Actually, this is a tea bag full of seeds and sequins, seeds of different types. This is an old envelope from my personal mail, also with a date. And the date says, okay, I'm a blind rat without my something like 90. Yes, it's from 90. And you can see here a small seed package. I have already seeded them, and a small bag. Actually, this is one that we pick under the birch tree. These kind of mushrooms are quite widespread in Belarus. And this one says the 1st of July and the 2nd. These are the pieces of our calendar. And one more page used for writing or anything like that. Okay, I'm hurrying, and I need to be careful because all these old paper things are fragile. I try to make them as safe as possible. but at the same time I wouldn't like to make them too heavy. Okay, in order not to keep you long, I will do it outside the camera, outside the film. And the last tag, as you know, this is a blueberry jam jar, and as well a lot of fussy cut and painted images, and a tiny paper clip, a tiny clip. It's not a paper clip, it's just a pin with a bead, wooden bead. It keeps this pocket open, and this is a pencil. I just decorated it with some green acrylic paint, and just edited it to be used for your notes or anything like that. And that's it, that's the back. I would like to tell you, I have already mentioned about that the shops, the delivery is still closed, but I had to reopen my Etsy shop because, you know, if I let it, it has already been off in vacation mode for something like more than a month and a half, so I decided it's too bad, and I opened it, but I had to make a specific mode with only the countries that are now available for delivery. It doesn't matter that I will never deliver again to any other places. I will, and I monitor the announcements from our postal services every day. As soon as I add some countries to the list, I just add them to my shop as well. And it's not because there are some restrictions or whatever, it's just because they don't do it. They don't have direct communication with these countries. As for outside of Etsy purchasing, you can actually, the only problem which keeps me from selling, which, well, actually doesn't let me sell directly from YouTube or Facebook, because there are people who call, who write there and here and ask for something. I have to send them to Etsy. But in fact, PayPal doesn't work with my country as well, because, well, for different reasons. PayPal is not, well, it works with our country, but we can only pay using PayPal. We cannot get money here. It's restricted, it's not allowed, because our government controls everything they want to control, and especially our money, and especially this sum of money. It's their policy. And I just don't know any other reasons, but maybe some more. And therefore, if you want to buy that outside Etsy, because Etsy actually, when I sell there, my price includes a lot of expenses which feed actually the third parties. And it's not only Etsy, it's also the third party that provides me with their PayPal, and the PayPal itself, and the money transfer system that I use here in Belarus in order to get my money. So it's four like third parties, and all of them want my money and your money as well. So if I get rid of all of these, I can actually sell directly. You can pay me directly also, but only to my card, for example. I'm not sure whether it's comfortable or convenient for many of you, and I'm not sure whether they all work with our banking system. But at least we can try, because it will make the expenses maybe 20-25% lower of the price. The following issue is that but even if you pay via the card or bank and transfer, you will have to pay to the bank, because they take quite a big sum for that, and we can use different methods. Not many methods are available here in my country, and those that are available, they take like the minimum rate they take is about, as far as I know, 10 or $15 minimum from any transfer. So you will anyway have to pay there. If not to Etsy or PayPal, you will have to pay to banking system for money transfers. That's a pity. We cannot avoid that. We cannot pay to each other directly. But this is how this financial bubble works. And this is how they manage to create money from the air. And to create money from our money, actually. So I hope you understand what I mean. Maybe I'm quite messy and messed something up in my speech. You're always free to write your questions, and I'm open to communication, and I am happy to finally present it, because it has taken me long to get out of my comfort zone and start recording again. See you soon, hopefully with the new project, a little bit of new tutorials, and the spring is still raging around. It's coming to its end. It's very beautiful here. Windy, cold, but really, really beautiful. Everything is green, and everything is fresh, and even if you are in isolation, it's not a big deal. You can see everything blooming around. In this case, hope you're safe there where you are. Hope your families are safe. Take care, stay safe, and see you soon. Bye bye. Thank you for watching.